I expected role players to say that, but I have not heard it from any of the big people in SWAPO and in the liberation struggle.
Yeah.
I cannot remember any utterances either by President Nuyoma himself or from Hage Geingob or from Herman Yatoivo or from Hidipo Amtenyo, who was then a spokesperson of the movement, to have criticized Peter Kalangula in a way we do, those of us who were not inside of these things.
Yeah.
So why didn't they do that, maybe?
Yeah. So
I cannot remember.
Yeah.
Anyone saying Peter was this. Rather, people kept quiet. People who spoke against Peter are those who are on the periphery, I would say.
Yeah.
People who know a little in terms of politics. Yeah, but for me, there was always going to be a difference. People were not all going to be in one room.
Yeah.
This is my philosophy. People will always be different. They want to play, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So if he played in a different way, I think it was his right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in terms of President Nuyoma, whom we are burying this coming weekend, the Heroes Acre, what did you know of him? Is there anything in particular that inspired you from his leadership, from his life? Or are you one of the critics who say the man was nothing but a monster of some sort?
And it will be unfair if you said that.
Yes.
Yeah, Shem Nuyoma, in my personal view, he was such a rare character. If you follow how he went in exile and how he reached different people in different countries, in different contexts, speaking on behalf of this small country, small population, unknown people, it just amazes me. I can't imagine myself doing that. But he did. Through Bechuanaland, Rhodesia, Tanganyika, all he wanted to reach wanted to reach Ghana, which got independence first. But through all the journeys that he took, he went up to the United Nations and spoke on behalf of the Nambian people. That alone, that very first journey, to me was just something that is very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
For a man who had no university education, a man who just was a railway worker, and this is what he has achieved. And this is what people have noticed in his character, that they elected him to be the president of the party and to lead the people in exile. Imagine organizing the first guns. He came with them, and he organized people to be trained in different countries.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of us can speak even to an ambassador.
Yeah.
Just an ambassador. I can't just approach an ambassador. But here is Shem Nuyoma doing these things in 1960s.
Yeah.
It blows my mind when I think of him in that context. And leading the people in exile, sending some to school, sending some to military training, mobilizing the international community. Again, I can't think of it. How did they do this? They had no social media, they had no cell phones, they had no nothing.
Yeah.
But here they were very successful in their own way and in their own right. And when independence came, here is a man who tries to lead a very diverse community. And just look at his first cabinet. What did he think? When he says the founder, he's the founder of that state house, he's the founder of all the ministries, the founder of all kinds of things. But there are some people who are educated in Namibia, and they can't even make up their bed when they wake up in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is it amazes me.
Yeah.
We are not saying he was flawless. He was a human being. He had his own misjudgments, and missteps, like you and me. We have our own misjudgments and mistakes and sometimes misactions.
Yeah.
So coming to your question is like, as part of this project, we have monthly reports.
Okay.
The first one was for July because we started the 1st of July and the project ends at the end of December. So for every month, including December, we were having reports that we've produced in terms of what was captured, how the media the coverage on political parties and candidates. But before the elections, the period of reportage is from the 20th. The first one was from the 20th of July until the 20th of August. My mathematics are now not correct. We started on the 1st of July. So yes, so the first one was 20th of July until the 20th of August. So we've have that one. So we also had then to have the one for December.
Yes.
The last one, the sixth one, was the 20th of November until the 20th of December to capture the few days before the elections,
Yes.
as well as the elections, as well as the post-election phase. So what we've launched last week was basically report number 6. So it is not yet the final report.
Okay.
The final report will basically be a consolidation of all the 6 reports.
Yes.
And then the idea is then to capture the trends, the lessons learned, as well as coming up with actionable recommendations for both journalists, the political parties, and even policymakers in terms of the media space, and of course the EFN and other editors. So the final report would hopefully be launched. The idea is somewhere next month. Then we would produce, so this is what we've done, this is what we captured, these are the trends, these are the lessons learned, and so forth.
Excellent, excellent. So it's quite encompassing. And I noticed from the tagline, from headlines to hashtags, it's also not limited to traditional media.
Very much so. Yes, you're very, remember the code of ethics for Namibia is very unique. It is capturing media in its broader spectrum. It's like, of course, print, broadcast, and online. And that's hashtag Notion comes in with. We are also monitoring what happens online under this project. But there's a caveat to that. Mm-hmm. Of course, the media ombudsman does not have a mandate and jurisdiction over the whole social media space.
Yes.
So ours is basically just say your media house is having a presence, an online presence, and of course being a member of the EFN, so the media ombudsman would then have jurisdiction over that social page, be it Facebook or Twitter X, whatever the case may be. So it's in that context.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned ethical obligations. Could you elaborate a little bit? What are the accepted ethical obligations of the media? What should we expect?
Right. The code of ethics that is being enforced by the media ombudsman, one of its opening clauses is to say that the Namibian media must report professionally, objectively, neutrally, and of course ethically. And so these are the standards really that the media. I'll give you a very practical example of what has happened during the monitoring period. The deputy minister, and I'm using this as an example to show how things are not supposed to be done. Yes. The deputy minister of Works and Transport, Mr. Nekunde, was apparently addressing somewhere in September, October, a rally in the north, and he spoke Oshivambo. And apparently during his address, he said that the opposition, IPC as the opposition, must be killed. But in his address, he said, but I'm not talking about physical killing. I'm talking about killing them through the ballot box. And next time when I'm coming after the elections, we will be having a funeral. We will bury them and so forth. But he used this as analogies and stuff and whatever. So one of the local newspapers, Monday, first thing, headlines, Nekundi instigate violence and so forth. And a lot of political analysts also attacked him and so forth. So Nekundi that very same day submitted a media complaint. Of course, he's by right is by right to submit such a complaint.
Yes.
And he said, I'll do you the favor, I'll send you the clip. It's about 16 minutes long. I gave the clip because my Shivambu is not that good. So I gave the clip to one of the colleagues at the NBC. Yeah. She transcribed the script for me. Nowhere in the transcription does it talk about inciting violence, hate speech against the IPC. Yeah. He used this as an analogy. I had, for example, then a conciliation session with the newspaper in question and Mr. Nekundi, and we agreed that this was unethical, deliberate omissions of facts in order to drive a certain narrative, and that is unprofessional, that is unethical, and this is the kind of things that the Code of Ethics wants all journalists, media houses to adhere to.
We call it, it was an assembling point where we have to meet the planned guerrillas so that they can escort us to Angola.
You knew that SWAPO soldiers would be there? How did you know that they would be there?
We have a communication before already. That was really a pre-arrangement with the soldiers of plan. We went there. Then we start our journey. I was surprised by then, one of the combatants could able to speak English a little bit. Then he told us that, our way will be like tough. We will experience a lot of, challenges, but they also orient us as to how to behave on our way in case we end up like engaging, or rather, attacked by the enemy or so. They told us that if we find the enemy, there's one way. You can take cover. You can also listen to the soldiers to give you instruction. Like there was one slogan, not slogan, but one command where they have to say, "Shiwanda limpeta," meaning cover. Shiwanda lotoka means retreat. Let's run. It was like I don't know how they could predict that possibility. Just immediately after we left that assembling point, there was one military armed personnel carrier of South Africa from Ongwelume. Then, they started fighting already right away. And it was like a shock because it was maybe, we only covered around 1 kilometer. They start fighting already. In my eyes, like when I take cover, I could see a soldier fighting. They fight, but I don't know how come that, that vehicle was not destroyed, nor any casualty on our side. And then they managed to escape. South Africa managed to escape. Then we proceed. It was about...
Were you guys walking or using a vehicle?
No, we were walking. We were walking. And then South Africa managed to escape. And then it was about the sunset already. Some of us, we dropped our things there to make sure that we save our lives. But then they asked that whoever is courageous enough to go back and get your things back, we can go together. I decided to go back together with them because I had a suitcase where I have photos of my families and so on. I was very much concerned. We went back and then collect them, then we proceed. It was a guerrilla tactic whereby we are not supposed to continue with the journey anymore. We have to play military tactics. Like we took a direction back of Ongwediva, something like that. And then like this zigzag in the bush there. And we delay the journey almost for 3 days just inside Namibia. Then the third day or fourth day, we crossed the border via Namakunde, Onjiva, Shangongo, I think Chikusede, Kahama, Vidyambudu, and up to Lubango.
Up to Lubango.
Yeah, up to Lubango town.
Okay, so Lubango is where it was sort of the first station where you guys now settled.
Not necessarily settled, because what I'm talking about now is town, and we are not supposed to settle in town.
Oh.
The people some were in the outskirts of the town, where their bases are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the survival along that journey, water, food, what was the provision?
No, that was not a problem, because you remember, we are under the hands of the soldiers, and although there is war in Angola, no, we were in the protection, because we are escorted by military vehicles, armed soldiers, and wherever we go along the road, there are Angolan soldiers also. Those are called FAPLA members. To every town we have to drive through. There are also the protection was there. It was very safe up to Lubango. Coming to food and water and stuff, no, we were provided. Okay. Although it was not necessarily up to standard, but it's edible, it's consumable.
What did you guys eat out of interest?
Beans, rice, and water.
Okay.
Cold drink was not, we didn't have that much access, but you can see it is there, because we were not Angolan, and these people of ours, their aim is just to make sure that we reach our camps where SWAPO is based.
Absolutely.
In the outskirts.
And the fellow Namibians listening to me, I am one of those administrators who respect and honor all our laws in this republic. When I was called on the 20th of March, 2020, I was served with an appointment letter stating you are appointed as a member of parliament in the Republic of Namibia from the 20th of March 2020 until 20th of March 2025. I have accepted that appointment.
Yeah.
So I am mindful, I am at peace for the 5-year tenure in which I was appointed.
Yeah.
So I don't fight. You can see I am still youthful, plus 60 granny, which can still serve with or without a title, our Republic of Namibia. I have been, as I said, almost at every station of our train, Namibian train. I know almost everything, every law, what needs to be done to change or to impact the lives and the livelihoods of our Namibian people positively. So, yes, if I am seen still valuable to serve, if the appointing authorities can still use me, I will never say no. Not necessarily to parliament or to a ministerial position. I am humbled. I can serve my country as long as my brain and the energy would carry me. So, if the retirement is the way to go, I'm also ready to retire peacefully and rest and also spend quality time
with your grandchildren.
My grandchildren, and you children can come to me for consultations, and you will also start admiring me because I have been working all my life. Almost 45 years of my life is in service. And I don't regret.
Absolutely.
For that.
Give me a sense of your work at the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, because your term coincided with a time when your party, the ruling party, struggled in the local authorities and regional council elections of that very year. to the extent that the city, the capital, had basically the ruling party did not win the majority, same as the major towns in your former region where you were the CRO. How has it been working with opposition-dominated councils in a country that previously saw only SWAPO as the panacea to everything?
Very good one. Maybe to answer it from a different perspective, is to say that irrespective of the political race, we have only one constituency, and that is the Namibian sovereigns. So when I came to, I didn't expect, I thought the president would appoint me as education ministry or something like that.
Yeah.
But at least I had a feel of how sub-national governments operate. As a chief regional officer, I had a very close relationship with the local authorities in Rongo region. I could review their budgets, I could see their challenges, I could assist some of the struggling local authorities like Usako's town councils and so on. So I had a feel of how local authorities or sub-national government works. So what I did when I was appointed, my first mission was really to crisscross, go out to all the 57 local authorities of Namibia. I did that. And to all 14 regional councils. I did that. I went to sit down with all the leaders at the sub-national government. And my message was very clear. It was to say, now that you are appointed, irrespective how you came to this council, you are a institution. You are a council. You are not here to serve the interests of political party A, political party B. You are not here to unlawfully fire the CEOs. I went for a very intensive talks, directives to all the 57 local authorities. It doesn't matter the ones that are dominated by which party. My message, and that is what the law is saying, they are a body of a board, they are a council. So I think my interventions, I think, have made a very big impact towards the perception our honorable local authority councillors had, because they started to realize that they are serving the residents in their different localities who do not necessarily have a name to say, I'm from LBM, I'm from SWAPO, I'm from DDA, whatever. I told them you are serving with the subsidies that you are getting from the government, with the funds that you are collecting, you are serving the sovereigns of your regions, of your localities.